Hi, everyone. You're joining us in the Voice of Faith. And today, I want to bring you to the book of John, chapter 8. I want to talk to you about a story about the woman caught in adultery and how the Lord Jesus dealt with that situation. I believe all of us can learn from that. Okay, let us read here. Then those who heard it, being convicted by their conscience, went out one by one. Very well. So we're talking here about a situation, and let me help you elaborate and give you a better understanding about what was happening. When the woman was caught in adultery, there were a group of people, church people, that wanted to stone her. And only yesterday in the church, we had this very powerful topic about putting a stone on the past. And in life, there are always two groups of people. Number one, you have one group of people that they try to stone others. And then you have a minority, few people that help us to put a stone on the past, that help us to bury the past. The majority, they always bring up the past or they use the past against us. The Lord Jesus here gives us a very powerful example. When these people they rose up against this woman, pointed out her mistake, he told them, is there anybody around here that has never committed a sin? If you have never committed a sin, you can take a stone and be the first to throw a stone. The Bible clearly says here that their conscience convicted them. And this is very important because God works together with our conscience. The conscience is a very good indicator to tell us whether we are right or wrong. So you may not be a church person, you may not be familiar with the Bible, you may not have read the whole Bible from cover to cover. But everybody has a conscience, no matter your background, no matter your beliefs, and our conscience tells a story, especially when the conscience screams and is telling us that something is wrong. That's an indicator that we are not right with God or we are not right with our fellow human being, our neighbor. And that tells us that something needs to be done, because if you don't resolve a conscience that has been stained, you won't sleep well. You won't have peace of mind. And the Lord Jesus, after he dealt with these people that were so judgmental, he replied the woman and told the woman, is there anybody left um, that has accused you? Has anybody condemned you? What happened to your accusers? And the woman said, none of them have remained. And the Lord Jesus replied her and told her, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Well, these are powerful words, so simple, few words that actually reveal that the Lord Jesus, he doesn't condemn people as long as the person is seeking for help sincerely, as long as the person is willing to obey God, as long as the person is um, seeking God's forgiveness, God will never say no. The Lord Jesus did not condemn her, but the Lord Jesus simply told her, go and sin no more. He put a stone on her past. He didn't give her a long lecture. He didn't give her a long preaching, a long sermon talking about her past, bringing up the past. reminding her of what she had done, of her mistakes. None of that. And why was that? Because he knew that she had a conscience. And surely after she committed adultery, she must have felt very bad about herself. Anybody that commits a mistake feels sorry about their mistakes. They can't turn back the clock, they can't change the past, but their conscience is accusing them. So he did not need to rub more salt in the wound. He just told her, go, sin no more. Change your lifestyle, move on, do not repeat what you have done in the past, and that's okay for me. And we can learn a lot from that. Why? Because every day we are dealing with relationships. You deal with a relationship with your husband, with your wife, if you're married. If you got kids, you're dealing with your relationship between parents and children and parents. At work, you deal with relationship with colleagues, employers with employees, and vice versa. And there are going to be moments when people commit mistakes and errors because people are not perfect. When this happens, it's easy to point out the mistake and remind people of their mistakes. And our human inclination is to over and over again repeat ourselves and remind people what they have done. You can see here that the Lord Jesus dealt with the situation very differently. He only spoke to her once. And when he spoke to her, he forgave her, he moved on, and never brought it up again. It doesn't mean that he wasn't taking the matter seriously. It doesn't mean that he was taking it lightly, but he showed us how we should deal with people. And maybe you that have been to a church before, um, maybe you have committed mistakes in your life and you notice that some people around you were very critical, very judgmental, very aggressive. Perhaps they felt, they expressed themselves very arrogantly. But the Lord Jesus here clearly shows us that religion um, gives a wrong impression of the Lord Jesus. Jesus is not religion, and often religion gives a wrong idea about who Jesus is. You may be watching today, you may feel, if I go back to church, how will people look at me? What will people think of me? Um, will people judge me or not? Will they label me or not? Can I be forgiven or not? The answer is very clear, yes. The Lord Jesus, more than anybody else in the Bible, he opened the door to forgiveness, to salvation, and reconciliation. When he met a sincere person like this woman caught in adultery, he did not complicate things. And we too should not complicate things when a person is asking for forgiveness. And learn this, because when we do not forgive somebody, we put that person in prison. That person that is crying out for forgiveness, when you don't give to them the forgiveness that we have freely received from the Lord Jesus Christ, that we're being unfair. And that's one of the greatest injustices that we can commit with other people. The way the Lord Jesus treated us, that's how we have to treat others. And ask yourself, are you a person that help others by putting a stone on their past, helping them to move forward? Or are you a person that easily throws stones at others? Think about that. If you want the best for your family and you want to bring your family to Christ, you want to save your family, You want to help your family to be a better version of themselves. Remember that that doesn't work if you are overly judgmental, overly righteous, and if you point many fingers by bringing up the past, by casting stones, you are putting a big blockage, hindrance for them to come to Christ. And you may give them a wrong impression who Jesus Christ is. The Lord Jesus told this woman few words: I do not condemn you. Go and sin no more. And that's all he said. And it was up to her to work on her life and make a decision how she would continue her journey. And if she was serious about it, I'm sure that she would make changes. She would change her environment, her company, her friendships, her habits. And that is not for us to do. That was not for the Lord Jesus to do. It's not for us to condemn somebody. It's not for us to judge people. It's for us to be merciful, forgiving, because one day we also need that forgiveness. And then it's up to the person to make the changes that only they can make. All right? If you're watching the program today and if you are struggling to come back to church, if you find it very hard for you to reconnect with God because you struggle with a lot of bad thoughts, you feel very negative, you feel insecure, you have been labeled, you have been targeted, you have been stoned by people with horrible words, I want you to know that the Lord Jesus Christ, He is forgiving and merciful and loving, and He can help you to make a new beginning. And your life does not depend on what people think of you. Your life depends on what God thinks of you. And we can help you make that new beginning. And we would like to help you to take the first step in the right direction. No matter what you have done, no matter how dark your past is, there's a way out. And the proof we have shown you today, okay? You can scan the QR code if you need prayer. You can scan the QR code if you want to know more about the Help Center. And then we will let you know how you can attend one of our powerful, transformative meetings, okay? We're going to be back with our Voice of Faith tomorrow at the same time, at the same station. May all of you be powerfully blessed and join us again tomorrow. God bless you.